Good morning. You are all welcome to this info session together with the Ghana International Bank on the Converge Conference 2025. Thank you for joining in and tuning in. Today we have joining us Mr. Kofi Achia from the Ghana International Bank, who will be taking us through this session. Kofi Achia is a seasoned marketing and communications expert with a background in driving brand revitalization and customer-centric strategies across various industries, including banking and finance. He currently serves as the inaugural marketing and communications manager for Ghana International Bank PLC, the first such expert of the bank since its establishment in 1959. In this role, Kofi is driving the development and execution of an end-to-end 360-degree brand, marketing and communication strategy for GHIB. He has a strong track record of success in prior roles at Universal Merchant Bank, MoneyGram International, Standard Chartered Bank, and originates Saatchi and Saatchi. Kofi holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and business administration and an MPhil in marketing from the University of Ghana. He also holds an MA in global diplomacy from SOAS. Additionally, he has pursued professional development through programs like the FinTech Certificate Program at the Said Business School, Oxford, and is affiliated with prestigious professional trade groups such as the Chartered Institute of Marketing, both in Ghana and the UK, and Chatham House. So good morning once again, and I would like to now call on our distinguished panelist, Kofi Achia, to take us through this info session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Makulata. Very kind words from you. So without much ado, we'll launch into the info session. I will try and keep this as succinct and as short as possible, so that we will have a lot of time for questions and answers. And so, in the meantime, you can also type out questions you have in the chat box, so that they'll be treated after the presentation. So once more, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for joining. This info session is basically to provide an overview to you, the members of the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce, on a conference we hold annually, that Converge. So GHIB, a bit of background about the bank. So we've been operating. So we are a rare entity, as it were. We are a Ghanaian bank or an African bank. Our shareholders are largely Ghanaian sovereigns, including the Bank of Ghana. But we are based out of London. We are a British bank. We are a licensed British entity. And so we straddle, as it were, as I like to put it, the best of both worlds, in the sense that we are a UK British bank, but our DNA, our focus, and our roots are on the continent. That's one of our affirmations, is to be the UK's Pan-African trade bank. So that is what essentially we are. We are a trade bank. We are primarily concerned with wholesale banking, international trade finance, international treasury solutions, global markets, and global payments and correspondent banking. We've been operating out of London since 1959, initially as the London branch of the Ghana Commercial Bank, but in 1998 we were fully incorporated as Ghana International Bank, a British bank, and we've been operating from our location at 67 Cheapside in the City of London since then. Each year, GHIB has traditionally undertaken a thought leadership capacity building program that was for many years known as the London Summer School. This school has upskilled many banking, treasury, and corporate executives over the years. But from 2024, we reimagined the summer schools and relaunched them as the Converge Conference. The conference essentially is to provide a platform so that professionals, trade banking professionals, and other affiliated professionals can have a forum to deliberate or brainstorm about the issues that pertain to trade banking and look for innovative ways around it. And in the process, upscale and improve their capacity, tradecraft, and operational keenness. So that essentially is what the Converge conference is about. Next slide. So last year we transitioned from the summer school to Converge, and last year we held a very successful conference in London on the theme the risk opportunity matrix for Africa. This year, however, we are taking that success forward, and the conference is on the theme rethinking commodity finance for growth. As we would all agree, we know that there are a number of statistics that we are quite aware of. Africa's share of global trade is about 3%. For Africa to achieve the development we are all looking for, including hitting the SDG goals, we will have to enhance economic activity. Our view is that enhancement of economic activity, one of the most viable parts that is just basically increase trade. And we know that the cards that Africa has to play at this table of trade globally rest on commodities. So the full spectrum of commodities, hard, soft, agri-commodities, metals, petrochemicals, etc. We have to, essentially be able to take full control of our commodity space, including value addition, including scaling up, including providing the infrastructure that would enable said commodity trade. The key thing or the key variable there, of course, is the finance, right? At the end of the day, it's a question of the funding and the finance to enable the value additions, to enable the scaling up, etc. And we know that there's a huge gap in terms of the funding and the finance for trade in Africa. The African Development Bank estimates that to be around $88 billion. We think it's around closer to 100 billion. And so, from that point of view, to illustrate, the metaphor really is that the door to Africa's development is through trade, and the key to opening that door is the key to opening that door is through trade or commodity finance. So essentially, this is the premise around the whole conference. Next slide. I think we can move on. I think I've spoken a bit about this. So this year all will be discussed. The conversations will focus on commodity trade as a catalyst for Africa's economic renewal, the role of central banks in commodity growth. So we, for instance, seen that play out very vividly here in Ghana as regards how we've leveraged gold for our economic prospects, policy, and activity in the last 2 to 3 years. Financial crime risks in commodity finance. We know that we have quite a vibrant supply chain and trade in petrochemicals and petrocarbons here in West Africa, including Ghana. There's a lot of evolving and emerging trends in this trade. For instance, we know that certain sanctioned countries operate what is called the shadow fleet, which they use to trade crude oil. As a Ghanaian or an African bank or oil marketing company, what are the skills, or how is this playing out? What are the skills that you need to be able to manage this risk? Because if you do not manage it, you stand a chance of being blacklisted on either the US or the UK or a number of other premium markets, law enforcement, and that will have a really bad effect on your business. Emerging tech in commodity finance, we see a lot of interesting experiments in terms of using stable coins, etc. And enhancing treasury management for regional trade expansion. Again, we've seen the example of Ghana and how we've managed gold. Imagine if, as a thought experiment, when this management extended and was being done in an integrated fashion with other large gold producers like Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali. And so this is a sample of the exciting topics that will be discussed at Converge. Next slide, please. Who is attending? We have over 150 plus participants from 10 countries, over 15 speakers, and we have 30 CEOs and senior executives, including central bank governors, including senior leaders from development finance institutions, including CEOs and other senior leaders from banks, commercial banks on the continent, commodity traders, and then logistics and infrastructure players. So we do have quite an it's a very representative audience or group of people who are attending the conference from the critical trade finance, corporate banking space for Africa. Next, move on. I've touched on this. So essentially, at this point in time, I guess the key questions for us would be, how does one attend Converge, and how does one get to speak at Converge? So some housekeeping rules on the conference. The conference is happening, or some information about the conference. The conference is happening in London. This year we are holding it at the Dorchester Hotel. It's from the 6th to the 8th of August. It will be a packed 3 days of panels, of teaching sessions, of workshops, and of networking, brainstorming, and also the opportunity to engage with partners to begin to originate deals. And you basically have to sign up or register for the conference. My colleague Nabia will be sharing the link to the conference in the chat box here shortly. So you basically have to register for the conference, and then you will be able to attend. For you to speak at the conference is a slightly similar process. You would have to reach out to us directly at GHIB and indicate a desire to speak, and then we would factor you into the program based on your capacity, based on your profile, and then feature you in the program thereof. Please. So, how will this benefit you, our senior executive attending the conference? We believe, as I said earlier, this provides a wonderful platform for knowledge exchange, for policy influence. So, we are quite proud of the fact that we have quite a number of central banking leaders. We anticipate participation from the Central Bank of Ghana, the Central Bank of Gambia, the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, the Central Bank of Liberia, and possibly the Central Banks of Uganda, Nigeria, and Kenya. So it's a really interesting space where a lot of critical policy discussions can begin. sorry, are you on? Okay. The other critical will be improved access to trade finance. As we said, there will be a lot of participation from financial institutions on the continent. So both upstream and downstream banks, commercial banks operating on the continent, boutique funding and capital firms, a lot of them from one of the world's largest or the world's leading global finance center, London, which is attending the conference. So it's really a great platform, as I said, to begin to originate deals and to begin to work out syndications and strategies to unlock liquidity, especially for trade finance. A logical segue to that is, it also provides opportunities for investment and strategic partnerships, which flows from what I just said, and business growth and deal origination. So a very interesting part about Converge this year will be the fact that we will have deal rooms, which will be open to participants. And so, we are actually enabling you to activate the networking so that, you don't leave it at only conversations, but you can actually begin to have the space to huddle and begin to take some of these deals forward. Next slide, please. So I believe I've come to the end of the info session. We are of the strong opinion that this conference offers a wonderful platform to members of the chamber, and even those who are not members of the chamber. We are GHIB. We are proud members of the chamber as a British firm operating in Ghana and other parts of Africa. We find the chamber to be extremely important and useful, and we think that there are natural synergies that we can leverage from this conference together. And so, thank you for your attention. Thank you to the chamber for giving us this opportunity, and I'll pause at this point to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Audience, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A, and Kofi and his team will be available to answer that. But I think we have one question on if participation is free.
Participation is free. You do not have to pay anything. There's no cost to you attending. However, you will have to manage your board. Travel and boarding costs must be managed on your own.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question is, will there be dedicated sessions or networking opportunities specifically for SMEs looking to break into international trade?
There will be a session for SMEs, and so yes, there will be a session for SMEs there will be a session specifically for SMEs, which will enable them to, as it were, begin to the process of breaking into international trade. So I think for SMEs it's particularly interesting, because we are on the cusp of finalizing a number of funding arrangements with a number of DFIs. So SMEs attending I think it will be very interesting for them, because they could have first mover advantage in terms of starting the conversations that will begin a credit process, etc., for them to begin to access some of this funding. So,
okay. The other question is, what are some of the tangible outcomes or deals from some of the previous conferences?
So, I mean, from the conference last year, we had I'm trying to find the right adjective for it, but let's say the consolidated pipeline for all the conversations that happened at Converge 2024, about $100 million £100 million. So this is essentially um, GHIB on its own, and other people who attended the conference began conversations that resulted in deals to that quantum. So the way the conference has been structured, as I said in my initial comments, is that it's been structured so that it delivers both thought leadership, capacity building, but importantly for a lot of corporate and institutional bankers, an opportunity to network and to begin to originate and syndicate deals, to begin to get visibility on emerging transactions, and also, yeah, an opportunity to start conversations that lead to innovation or innovative transactions around certain key commodities. So I would say these are some of the tangible benefits. For the individual attending, you also get a certificate, and that is critical for your CPD. And this year we would also be able to share a LinkedIn badge that allows you to project to the world that you've been part of this prestigious conference. So,
Thank you. Another question. Michael Asansi says, I am a private equity professional who invests in SMEs. How do I register for the deal room?
First you have to get registered to the conference. I'm trying to share the link to the conference here. I'm sorry? It's in your Teams chat. Okay. You've copied the. Oh, okay. So I just need to copy it. All right. I'm sharing. Um, okay, copy link. So I'm sharing the form for registration right now. So it is there. Also, there's quite a lot of information about the conference on our LinkedIn handle. So you'll find that there as well. So once you are registered into the conference, as happens a lot with some these conferences, and you can then begin the process of reaching out to other folks who are registered, and also begin to set up the meetings for the deal room. Typically, what we've seen with the Converge conferences, the critical thing is to be present in the room. So once you are attending, it's that kind of process. As I'm sure you know, corporate and institutional banking, wholesale banking thrives on person-to-person interactions. So once you are in a room and you are face to face with a partner that you would like to start or originating a deal with, it's smoother. You then find a space to go to the designated deal rooms and begin to take that process forward. So yes, that.
Thank you. Another question is um, for companies that will be coming in from Ghana, would you by any chance support with the visa process in any way?
So for all the companies that are attending around Africa, we are able to support with a visa support letter to facilitate your visa application. Two provisos that we have to quickly outline here. One, we are about 50 days to the conference. So, sorry, actually, more like 40 days to the conference. So, if you would like that support, you need to you need to be a bit urgent about that so that that can happen. Secondly, terms and conditions apply. So, we will offer the visa letters based on a certain criteria. So yeah, we are willing and able to offer visa support letters.
Okay, thank you very much. I think those are the questions I have so far. I don't know if the attendees have any more questions. Okay, there's one in here. Um, Omer says, what are the most effective ways for diaspora-led initiatives to engage with you in public-private partnerships with the government of Ghana to support sustainable development, particularly in sectors like waste management, agribusiness, and youth empowerment?
This question coming out of the BEC, this is a kind of fully loaded double-barreled question. Okay, so let me try and break it down and take it step by step. I think there are lots of opportunities in terms of diaspora banking. We pride ourselves on, or one of the key value enablers we think we bring to the market is the ability to enable diaspora investments and participation in African markets. So that's a top line thing. With Amer, I will, Immaculate, I'm very happy for you to share my email with him so that we can take this conversation forward, because I think there are several layers to it in terms of agribusiness, in terms of I believe he said sanitation, uh, waste management. Okay,
Yes,
so there are various layers there that we can unpack, and I'm more than happy to link into the technical experts so that we begin to take that forward. So,
very much. Yes. Okay. Um, I think those are the questions for now. So Kofi, I think we can have you say your final words and then we can wrap up this session.
okay, so I got a message from somebody directly. The person was asking, um, is this conference only for GHIB customers? No, it's not. So GHIB customers, of course, are very welcome, but this is open to the entire business the entire business ecosystem in Ghana and around Africa. So if you're a business that is, or you're thinking about starting a business, or you're already a business that is especially engaged in commodity trade, um, or you are in the financial services industry, this conference is tailor made for you. If you are an export company, you are thinking about taking advantage of AFCTA and working out the financing or your financing models, this conference is tailor made for you. So I'll end by
I'm sorry,
giving
Kofi,
you.
we have two more questions. Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
So one from Mark. I'm Mark from Marcacia Butter and Hairs Hub. I'm keen to learn about accessible trade finance options for small and upcoming exporters like us. I think this is not a question, but I'm sure you can still respond to this.
Yes. So the as I said, I mean, okay. So especially on the basis of the AFCTA and especially on the basis of accepted and accepted premise as outlined by DFIs like the IFC, the World Bank, we know that the SMEs hold the key to scaling up on trade. And so GHIB has set up a business banking or SME unit, and the play is to leverage Converge to support or to engage our SMEs on the continent and begin to offer them the unique selling proposition or the capacity that we've been offering to corporates since 1959. So essentially supporting them in structuring trade finance deals, in helping them so that they can access things like export receivable funding structures, so which allows them to access liquidity on the back of projected exports and other such innovation. So I think, and Mark from Share Butter, I also would really like to continue the conversation with you after the call, because the model that you are outlining is one of the things that we are very interested in. So yeah, so I hope I've answered the question But yeah, I think SMEs, especially in export-driven industries, and this conference is particularly good. I think it will be particularly useful for you, especially also as I said, because we have um, a number of funding programs that are coming to fruition that we would like to outdoor and share during the conference, specifically targeted at SMEs. So,
Okay, thank you. The next question, please. What are the criteria for offering the visa support letter to individual or business representatives that would want to attend the conference?
so I mean, the criteria is, I mean, obviously, there's a checklist that we will go through to, of course, mitigate against the risk of and making sure that we are offering letters to people who are actually attending the conference. I can't go through all of it here on the call, but basically, once you are a registered legal entity, we are more than happy to support you to secure the visa.
Okay, then there's a question from Simon. Will there be any stakeholders within the energy sector contributing to this event?
Yes, there will be. So we are look. So we are the if you were to do a checklist of the people who we structure the conference for and want to attend, it will be commodity traders, right? So commodity traders include agribusiness aggregators, petrol, energy commodity traders. So people who buy and sell petroleum to markets in Africa. It will be also targeting commercial banks, so trade finance experts from the commercial banks, central banks, DFIs, boutique funding institutions, export companies on the continent. So it's that spectrum of people who are engaged in commodity trade and commodity finance. So yes, there will be energy, there will be participation from the energy space. We are also expecting participation from the industries or the organizations that are involved in building the infrastructure for commodity trade. So the hard infrastructure and some of the soft infrastructure for things like stable coins or other innovative innovations that are being used to facilitate commodity finance in the market at this point in time. So
Another question from Kofi. Is there a thematic framework or guidance for individuals looking to present or join a panel?
again, please follow us on LinkedIn. Today we will be launching the concept note and the thematic framework for the conference. And throughout the week, we'll start sharing the synopsis on the various sessions. So we'll begin to give you an idea of where we are going on that. In my class, I think I will share that with you for general circulation to the chamber as well. So, but essentially, fundamentally, the conference is focused on rethinking commodity finance for Africa. So the lines of commodity finance, supply chain finance, infrastructure, scalability, access to markets, treasury solutions. All of those are things that we'll be interested in or will be discussed at the conference.
Thank you very much. I think we're done with the questions, but if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, there's someone asking for the LinkedIn information. I'm sure that will be provided, but Kofi, maybe you can take us through your LinkedIn or your social media handle so that participants can reach that.
Try and put that into the chat box here. So I'll put that into the chat box. But yeah, it's our LinkedIn is
Yes, and
okay.
then there's another one on the visa. The person wants to know if individuals that want to attend the conference to learn more about trade qualify for the visa support letter.
Okay, so the conference is structured in a manner that is essentially um, targeted at organizations. So the logic there is that people who are attending are people who are coming on behalf of organizations. So that is one of the critical criteria for the visa support letters. So as an individual, again that's on a case by case basis, but typically we prioritize organizations and folks who are coming in to represent organizations at the conference.
Thank you. I think those are the questions for now. So please reach out to Kofi in via the details we've provided in the chat box, or you can reach out to the UKGCC. And we would also give the feedback to the GHIB team. And so please do stay tuned to all our social media and
Yes.
that of Ghana
Yes.
International Bank as well for details. But we will send you some more information after the webinar on the conference and then what to expect and how you can participate. So over to you, Kofi, for your final words and vote of thanks, and then we can bring the webinar to a close.
Oh, no, just to say a huge thank you once more to the chair. Most grateful. We do not take it for granted. And we look forward to converging with you in London from the 6th to the 8th of August at the Dorchester. Thank you very much.
Thank you and have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Goodbye.